Hey, hello, everyone. I am back. Had some internet issues, but I think we were here when we left off. And I was saying how this move was very solid due to the fact that it looks at White's weakness here at A. It's something that Black can actually take advantage of immediately. I realized afterwards that I played the wrong follow-up for Black. Instead of connect, Black can simply descend here, and this leaves this cut useless due to the fact that White is threatening to push through here at B. So this connect is somewhat of a prophylaxis move. It threatens to cut afterwards. I think here Black plays this move, which is fairly sharp to Tsuji. It aims to essentially make Miai of both A and B. And White decides to block on this side, and then Black plays this squeeze, which again makes Miai of the cut on the inside and the cut on the outside. See, White cuts on the inside. This is actually a decision that I disagree with. It seems like this capturing the corner in this way for Black is very, very good on points. If I were White, I would connect, allow this cut to happen, and then save my corner. The outside stones aren't entirely dead. They have definitely they have some room to run over here and also here, and with C being Sente, there's some eye space. So I think I would have preferred this as White to take the points. So played. White connected here, but this is a very, very big corner that White is giving up to Black. As we saw before Black's boundary was over here. Now Black has at least another 10 points. And White, meanwhile, would have had an extra, like, at least 5+ points in this area. So this was I think after this, Black is probably in the lead due to the fact that this is a very big point. White extends, and then plays this move. This move, it looks slow, but actually White's group is fairly weak, so I think it's a move that's fairly solid. Given that Black is very solid in this area, the last thing that White wants is for White to play like a big point, but then for Black to get this urgent point, and then White's group really just becomes a burden, and you're kind of just running for a very long time. So White plays this move, and then Black pulls back, which I feel like is a little bit slow. I think I would prefer for Black to have come around this way, or just had played like a big point around here. And then White plays this, which is it's a nice shape point. Creates some eye space in this area, as well as threatens the cut. And this combination that White played, ABC, is, I would say, fairly comfortable in terms of the shape. You can see that the stone at D is a little bit misplaced. If you were to, you'd expect it to be at E if this was like a regular case of Black pushing on one side and White pulling back on another. But the fact that it's at D makes this C point a little bit nicer for the Black shape. Black jumps out, White follows, and Black plays move. So I'm assuming this move is due to Black being afraid of some of these wedges at A and B. you can see that if black doesn't do anything, then, you know, white can. There is a weakness to be worried about here. As for whether black can resist and fix in another way, that's unclear, but there's a weakness. So black decides to fix. The downside of this is it makes white's eye space much nicer. I can definitely imagine a world where, like, if black were to seal white in, then there's some eye space problems here. It doesn't seem like white is fully alive just yet. So this move, it fixes the cut at A and then B, but it does cause white to be more solid as well. Black plays this point, which is one of the last large areas on the board, and white plays this two space extend. Black plays here to block off this bottom side territory, and white pushes and blocks. I find that the last few moves, in my opinion, are a bit slow. Definitely these two moves are quite big. This move, while it does protect the third line points here, I think due to the fact that white has some, forcing moves from the center, it makes these third line points actually not too much worth surrounding. For me, I would have played starting from maybe like this direction or this move, which I believe happened later on in the game. Let's see, go back to the game. Push and block, but black was able to get this incente, which is nice. I do think that like a move like this would have been larger than the move that white spent to block off these side points. And push block. So black comes back to play this move. This is actually a very big move. It's a big move because it's able to not only scoop out white's territory in this area, but also create some of black's own territory. In doing so, it also ruins the eye shape for this group. It's kind of a floaty group. It can't really be considered weak just due to the fact that it has so many stones facing the outside, but it has lost its base. It's lost all its points, and so this move that black has played is a fairly large move. Okay, so now I think at this point we can like do a quick evaluation of the score or what we think of the game. To me, it looks like black is quite a bit ahead on points. There's like one big like corners, some side points, some maybe not too certain points here, but this is still black's points, and then like a lot of side points here. And for white, it seems like there's not really too much besides this bottom left corner here. So it would seem to me that black is comfortably leading, at least in terms of points. So let's see what white decides to do. This top right corner seems to be the only place where white can turn things around. So if it were me, I'd be looking at moves like maybe attach, looking to try to scoop out part of the corner. But all of this would certainly take a good amount of reading. White plays this move, which it does take away a little bit of black's points, but this block is a fairly nice move for black that retains kind of the main part of black's territory. This upper right corner right here, the the body of that territory still has not been taken away. And then after white stands up, the goal of this is to cut off this stone at A, but white does here pay a very heavy price for cutting that stone off in the price of this empty triangle, which is never really something that you want to play. It's just quite an inefficient shape. Perhaps if it were me, I would probably consider maybe Hane and Tiger's Mouth, or maybe Hane and Connect, arguing that if white wants to come around here, then I'll go underneath. And while I haven't separated white stone, I've still taken a little bit of the top points, and most of all, I have not gotten myself into this empty triangle shape. Black plays this, which is a very, very strong move, actually. This kind of refutes what white has done in this area. It really makes me eye of both A and B. And really, it doesn't seem like white has too many options. So white turns, black pushes, and then white plays the Hane and Connect. And then black pulls back to secure the corner territory. White plays the second line attach in order to get back a little bit of the loss from here, but it really doesn't get back a whole lot. So I think after this, black is definitely comfortably leading, because in this operation that white had played starting from A, you can really see that this operation ended in kind of a clump of stones for white, so that wasn't really efficient. After this, white takes the one stone, black plays the turn, and this crawl is also very big. It links up kind of this right side and this upper side, and you can think of it as securing all these points for black, because if white were to play a move in the area, you can see that at least this, and maybe even this, if white is able to play this move at A, ends up not becoming black's points. I should probably even include these two and this one. So this crawl is definitely super, super big move on points. Probably here I would say like this move is the last big move. I consider this kind of the last big move because it's the last move that plays on the side. As most of you probably know from like the Go proverb, the corner is the most valuable area, the side is the second, and then the center is the least valuable. And if we take a look at this board position, what remaining moves there are to take territory on the side, you can see that there's really only this move here at A, and then like this move here at B. And it becomes pretty apparent that A is a lot bigger than B, and as such we can say that like black was able to get so white cuts, and black tries to save everything here, which I mean, it doesn't seem like this center group is going to be killed, but at the same time, as black here, if you know you're leading, the way that I would try to think about this is to see if I can somehow play more lightly and not take the risk of getting a weak group. It's not too easy, actually. Probably with this, you still end up playing something like this, and you're saving your group. So I think what black did was fine. Yeah, so black just keeps pressing along in this area, and it seems that after if white keeps playing in this way, then black is able to fairly comfortably link up their two groups. And at this point, we can do a rough count. It seems to me intuitively that black has a lot more points, but we can just do a rough count to make sure. So I count up to here for black about 28 or so points, including there. Maybe it's like 40, 45 on the right side for black. On the left side, maybe like 20 points, 45, 20, 65. And then on the top, maybe 5 or a little bit more than 5. So it's 70 with a little bit of potential for black. For white, on the bottom left, we had like 25. In this center area, we have maybe 10, 12 points. 37, and then maybe 5 on the top, 42, and then maybe like 4 on the left, 46. So 46 to 70, white to move. If we add in Komi, so white has to really like find like 17 points or so. I wouldn't say black might be ahead by 17 per se, but they're definitely, I think black is comfortably leading in this situation. Yeah, so this is board 2. I think we can take a moment to hop over to board 3. Hello, everyone. We're back here with board 3 of Chicago versus Denver in the AGA City League. On board 3, we have Sang-Soo for Chicago playing as black against Nicole playing as white for Denver. Let's jump into the game. Sang-Soo as black. He's registered as 5 down. Sang-Soo is actually a fairly strong player. I think he's a bit underrated at 5 down. I remember he played a very strong game against Alex Chi, who's a one-down professional in uh, his City League game against New York. So let's see how he does here as black. So the first thing I notice actually is this knight's move here for white is slightly unusual. Normally you would see like a much larger knight's move, a much larger extension. This I don't know what it's called, like omega large knight's move is fairly common. And the reason for this is that if you play something smaller, let's say this, if you get kicked, then it becomes a little bit uncomfortable, because if you extend, then you notice that your stone is a little bit awkwardly placed. It's relatively inefficient. You're only playing a one space extension off of your your pillar of two stones. And if you don't do that, if you, let's say, play Hane and Atari, which is, I assume, what white was planning to do, this way of playing on the upper right is a little bit it loses like a little bit locally. The shape is usually not to Hane and Atari after your opponent kicks you, just because it leaves the corner very solid. Usually the shape is to do this in order to leave a weakness at B. And so this is slightly unusual. It's probably not bad per se, especially because this kick is probably a little bit slow at this moment, but it's slightly unusual. Black approaches both corners, and then plays a double approach here. White attaches, black hanes, white extends, black comes into the corner, and white blocks. And this is all Joseki up to this point. Sungsu plays this two-space extension, also a very normal move. And black plays this way to come around on top. In this position, actually this type of Joseki appears a lot, so I'll talk a little bit about how to evaluate these types of positions and how to think about them. So the first thing that we notice here is black played this extend instead of this attach, which we might see as more normal. So the difference between the extend and the attach is that the extend grants white a little bit more space in the corner to make territory, and because you're making territory, you're also making eye space and keeping your group alive. So because of that actually makes this kick a very big move, because after you kick, you secure this corner, which is definitely a larger corner than if black had played this attach. And meanwhile, also leave this cut at this marked point, this cut at A. This way of playing is also another way of playing. I'm going to show a Joseki where that's a common way of playing. Connect. So here, white, you might see white peep first on top and then play this pincer and continue with this attach. So in this way of playing, which is very similar to what white did in the game, you come around the top, and you also get like a pincer stone here. You can see it in this variation. There's not actually much for white to do in the corner, so it becomes pretty logical for white to play in this way. Main argument for white is that I'm getting C, which is preventing black from getting an extension on the left side. But in the actual game, the version of what happened becomes a little bit worse due to the fact that now when white extends, which wasn't possible before due to white having an extra stone here, this leaves the corner more open. So we can see that this is kind of like a double-edged sword of like white having more space in the corner. On the one hand, white is able to secure more territory. But on the other hand, if white doesn't secure that territory and black is able to come in, then this door is a lot more open for black to slide in and scoop out some more of white's territory. So here I think probably white was thinking of the other variation. I would prefer to just kick here and take the corner points. But this is it's definitely still a way of playing, and I don't think this is game deciding by any means. White plays the pincer. This is a very big move, and the peep, and makes sure black is unable to get a base. So this is definitely something that white should be doing, because otherwise, if you continue playing here, now it's like really slow because black has gotten kind of able to both come in on the bottom side and also play on the left side. Sung-Soo comes out, and white plays the connection. The other downside of white playing like this is actually the shape here is not very comfortable. It's not comfortable because you can see that white kind of owes a move here. If black is able to push and then Atari, the two white stones here become very, very useless, and white is kind of struggling to locally do anything in this area. Due to that, actually, I think I would prefer for black to not exchange the peep, because this way, now when the same thing happens in the game, it becomes harder for white to play in this way, because that now allows this cut to be possible. But you can see when the peep is exchanged, it kind of fixes this weakness at A, which doesn't exist in this position. But if white has a stone at A, then that cut would exist. So the fact that white played this peep kind of meant that black has a free hand to push here at A and ruin white's shape, whereas if the peep didn't happen, black would be definitely more reluctant to push here at A. Black pushes and plays this turn. White plays here to come out. And then black also turns to come out with the group. So in the following sequence of moves, it looks like both players are fighting for the center, which is a very valuable spot to fight for. As a rule of thumb, like if the board is open, you want to get your head out. You don't want to be playing moves to kind of make your group alive. For example, even if black was able to come in here, which normally would be a very good move, very big spot. In this case, to open the center is, I would say getting the moves in the center would be even more valuable than getting the points in the corner. So we can see this is why the players are kind of fighting for control of the center in these swing moves. And black extends out with his cutting stone. This is also a very strong move. White plays this knight's move to take care of the left side, and then black plays here to surround this bottom left corner White plays this to get some eye shape, and then plays this to seal off the corner. But these exchanges are actually not very comfortable with exchanges. You can see in the game that white played A, B, and C for black's D, E, and F. In doing so, white was able to get a few extra points in this area marked 1 and 2, and also some eye space. But on the downside, black's outside has gotten a lot more stones, and these stones on the outside have a lot more potential impact on the game than the few points that white was able to get with 1 and 2. White plays here to secure the corner. This actually leaves kind of an annoying weakness here at A that I think later on in the game Sang-soo was able to take advantage of. So Sang-soo clamps out with this stone. This is also a super big move. If black were to do something else, then you can very visually see that the balance of power is very different in this area if white were to play here than if black were to play here. If black were to play here, then the white stone is the one that's under attack and most likely dead. And if white were to play in the area, then it is the black stone that is on the defensive. So I plays this cut. This is definitely an overplay. You can kind of visually tell just by the number of stones in the vicinity. Black has a lot of stones in the vicinity, so it's very hard for white to accomplish anything with the cut. In fact, this group that's being cut off is also locally alive. You can see if white comes down, then again, like push and block, and then Hane and Tiger's Mouth, and this is locally an alive shape. So due to that, this cut loses a lot of its power. Of course, in the actual game, it's even worse because not only can black live on the bottom, but black can also Hane, and this really kills this white shape in the center. You can see that you really have to connect one of these two due to the presence of all these double Ataris. And if you connect, then you're going to be connecting back in Dame. And like we mentioned, black is already alive, so to have to do this for white is quite a sad thing. So white decides to fix, and black is able to come back here and protect the weakness. So here we can already see that the game is trending very much in black's favor. We have a very large territory on the bottom side, and the corner, black also has a corner enclosure on the top left. Meanwhile, it's really hard to see where white will be making their points. So white decides to diagonal out, and black plays this move in the corner, which is very sharp. The point of this move is that you want to make Miai of A and B, and you're arguing that white can't prevent it, which actually white can with this move. So it's actually somewhat of a fake Suji. It's not an entirely a fake Suji because the white's group isn't fully alive in this area. Actually, with a single move, white is unable to make 2i. So black does have this ko in his back pocket if white were to play in this way. But this ko is actually not too light for black. Also, I think as white, probably you have to go for this because the alternatives are very sad. If white, why the colors are weird. Yeah, if white were to play this, then black connects back, and then the whole white group is not alive. If white plays this one, then as we see in the game, we see that black has a nice Tsuji, which is if white blacks off, black cuts, white connects. It seems like this is 2 liberties versus 3 liberties, but black has this descend, which takes advantage of this shortage of liberties in the corner. So Basically, the conclusion is that this stone really cannot be saved. The game, black plays this one and this Hane, and plays this to make a life. But this is really kind of a sad life because of the fact that uh, it's really small. The life that white has made is really small, and at the same time, black is able to scoop out the corner in Sente. So from here, it's a little bit of, let's say, like cleanup duty from black. Black still does have one weak group to take care of, so there's still some work to be done. But I think for black, the main objective is to make sure that nothing too spectacular happens in the game. You just want to make your group solid, make sure that, like, for example, this cut at C doesn't ever amount to anything, and that would be the way to try to convert. Black peeps here. It's a very solid move, protecting this cut in Sente, because now the stone can be laddered. And then continues to jump. And we can see that black is actually playing extremely solidly, which is good, because when you're ahead, you don't want to create too much chaos. You want your group to be solid and kind of just take it into an end game. Okay. Probably going to skim through the rest of the moves here. So we can go to uh, yeah, board 3 is we'll be going back to board 1 shortly. Yeah, I can finish this game up. I don't see anything past this though. Oh, I think I can just relay. Uh, yeah, let me just relay from the game. This is a is it still in the AGA City League room? Um, uh, what are the user? I don't see the game in the. Oh, okay. Yeah, we will be right back with the rest of the game. Yeah, I'm in eJournal 4. All right, let's. I'm still live, right? Okay. All right, let's continue from here. It seems like this white group is in some pain. We can see that with this most recent move. There's not all the eye space on the left side is kind of gone, and the other thing is on the top. There's really not too much space to make eyes either, and to make matters even worse, on the left there's only half an eye in the area. Um, or actually, if white wants, white can play C to ask if black really wants to kill and turn it into a full eye. But even still, it's something that is not really what white wants. So white plays the peep. The goal of the peep is to attempt to make some eyes in this way, but black plays very, very strongly, plays this peep, plays this push, really just gets rid of all the eye space, and then plays this diagonal. And now it's actually pretty clear. There's no eye on the top, and there's only half an eye on the left, and this white group really doesn't have much more to struggle. And so I think it was here that Nicole resigned. Um, yeah, we can take a moment and get back to board one. And and so this turned into an exchange. White lost this corner for some additional thickness on the outside. Um, I realized afterwards that this actually was a pretty powerful concept by Albert, because there's no way for white to resist. If white plays here, which originally seemed pretty strong, then black can cut and then take back, and white has some threats here. But even if black just gives it up, I think this is definitely an acceptable result for black. These five stones are looking kind of very ugly for white. Black still has half the corner, and black has like a panuki facing the bottom. So I think I would prefer this result for black. Um, so as such, white goes into this trade. Uh, but I think this trade, black ends up with the better end of the deal. It seems like this thickness is kind of marginal additional thickness that white is getting, but this corner is actually very, very big. You have to remember this was white's corner to begin with. White had the 3-4 point and black played the approach. Black plays this move, which is very big. White decides to approach. And white makes a base here. Yeah, this is a very tricky spot for white. It feels kind of bad, in my opinion, for white to get sealed in here. At the same time, there's not really a good way to come out. So here, Albert plays a very enterprising move. If I were black, I would probably continue with something more normal like this or a corner enclosure. But Albert really plays some very enterprising moves. This really looks to run out with the stone at A. But of course, white is definitely not going to answer this way. This is much too slow. And so white has to counterattack. And black continues with this. This really is a very direct way of playing. And I think like this is kind of representative of Albert's style. You can always choose to just play some moves that you know are big, or you can play in ways that are, they directly threaten your opponent. And I think this is what Albert likes to do here. He's playing this move, which it's like it's dangerous because if you don't get an attack in, let's say white is able to counterattack you, then you've kind of wasted your move, whereas it could have been a point like this corner enclosure, which has its value. But at the same time, if the fight goes in your favor, you could also very well kill one of white's groups. White plays this move in order to prevent black from saving the cutting stone, and then decides to play this pincer, which is a very big move, both in making the points on the side in this area, as well as preventing white from making an extension, making a base, preventing black from making a base. Black plays the knight move, and white plays this, which at first glance feels very slow to me. I wonder why white didn't continue in the center. My instinct is that it's quite important to fight for this center direction, because it seems to me that white is actually the stronger of the two groups. White kind of has like a miai of both A and like very, very easily a connection at B. So this move at this hane up here seems quite slow to me. And white black is able to get this jump in the center, which seems pretty comfortable. White plays this last big move and then plays this peep and knight's move, which has become standard joseki at this point. And Albert plays this knight's move to finish sealing off this direction. So you can see that this really creates the framework for a very big moyo on the right side. So white really has to come in. Red Rose, he says, I feel Albert is crushing. Yeah, I feel like Albert definitely has an advantage so far in this fight, both in terms of the points, the upper left and upper right are kind of very solid points, as well as the overall thickness. I think Albert is actually, given that there's so many black stones which are kind of facing the center, there's a lot of thickness also. So these types of advantages are the nicest to have, where it's like you're not down on points, you're probably up on points, but at the same time you're very thick, so it becomes hard for your opponent to make something happen. Of course, black to try, so white invades. and black decides to counter attack. Keeps and plays this attached to make some eye space, and then plays this bump to finish off making the eye space. Albert plays this to start harassing the group. Yeah, this is looking quite dire for white. We can see here through these exchanges that white actually is not fully alive on the top side. If black were to say play this and then play say this one, the whole white group is not fully alive right now. Like, white has an escape route into the center if black were to try to kill, but even still comfortable having eye on that to live. And so we can actually see here that like even moves like this are kind of sente for black. So black plays this move. This kind of it threatens this, as well as when black plays the 3/3 is blocking off the side, so black can take some territory. And white plays this move, which is a very like common shape move to take advantage of the shape, but in this specific instance, due to black having a lot more thickness than white in the area, it doesn't seem too effective. Black continues saving the weak group in the center, and white continues saving the weak group in the center, and then black comes in here. And I think actually the last few moves have been fairly successful for white. Being able to take the 3/3 and sente seems to me like a pretty big success. I know in the Joseki that I remember is that black wants to do this so that when white takes the corner, there is some weakness here that white has to deal with. If white were to play in this way, then both the corner and the outside aren't fully settled. And if white has to play like this, then black claims that I've been able to remove a lot of your eye space in sente, and so this shape-wise is a success for black. So perhaps I would have played this way as Albert. I think if white is able to take the 3/3 without this clamp being an issue, then this is a slight success for white, especially to get this in sente, and then to get this nice move, which is also a fairly nice shape. But yeah, at the same time, like white still has a lot of the problems we called out earlier to mention: the fact that this group is not fully alive, the fact that this is weak, and the fact that black is already leading on territory. So I think getting a corner is still definitely not enough to cancel out all those advantages that black had. White plays here. They're trying to isolate the stone at A and attack the stone at B. And black makes a base here. Yeah, so the actual game goes up to here. We can probably take a moment to do a quick count. We can assume, I'd say white probably owes a move here in order to kill off the one stone cleanly, and then see what the situation is. So on the bottom left, white has, say, 26 points, counting up to like here also. Let's count like 4 points in this area 30, 3 points here, 30, 33. And maybe like 17, 18 points. So 50, and I mean, probably we have to count negative points for white in the center just because this group is so weak, but we'll first not count that and see how much black has. So white has 50, and we'll see how much of a burden black has, how many points. When I say burden, I mean like how much black needs to make in the center, if any, in order for the game to be even. It could be very possible that black doesn't have to do anything to this white center and is still leading, but let's confirm that with a count. So on the upper left, black has it's like 18 points. Let's say 28 points on this upper right, going into this right side, 28, 18, 46. And then let's count 4 points here, 50 points, which, if I recall correctly, was just how much we counted white had. So essentially, black's bird, it's black to move, and black has to make a komi in this center area at F, which really doesn't seem very hard to do, given how weak these white stones are. Like even if you just kill off the tail, that's certainly more than a komi. So I would say black is definitely leading by a good amount. Yeah, we'll take a moment to actually I can probably just relay the moves. So white did in fact play this move, and then Albert played very strongly to try to cut off the white stones on the right. And black played some sente moves on the right side. This is to get some potential forcing moves on the outside for when white is trying to connect back and then tries to connect back on the top. So here, white is actually being very greedy with this last move, because as you can see, the 3 stones are actually not a lot of points. But the bigger issue is that, you know, this whole group is not alive. So as black, I'd be very scared of this. As white, I'd be very scared of this cut. But actually, from the next few moves, we can see white's plan all along, which is to push and then play this ko. This is a very, very big ko, because if black wins it, then the entire right side is black's. If white wins it, then we can say that white has saved the right side. White plays this Atari, and black plays this push. Okay, there's a good amount to unpack here, why this all ended up happening. So white had a plan here. The plan was to Atari, and then if black plays the somewhat natural move of connecting, then white will take, and white will say, you can do whatever you want to do next with your 2 moves, and I'm just going to take this. Even if black got this, it's really hard to say whether this would be worth it for black, you know, killing the top, but this whole right side has been ruined, and also the black stones now are very, very weak in this center area. Black probably doesn't want to try to evaluate whether that trade is any good, so black pushes. The idea of push is that if white blocks, black can cut the ko. And the reason that like black had to make these exchanges, they were all for this one stone here at A. The way that is when white takes, there's no link up on first at one. Black had already successfully prevented that by getting this Atari at 2. Now black can spend a move on probably on the outside. I don't know what the best way to kill is, but black can maybe do this, and probably this white group is not going to wheel out. Without this, let's say black just connects. After takes, black has to spend another move here, and then white gets the first move in the center. And this is a lot less clear whether black will be able to kill off this white group. So that's why black pushes here. And that's also why white cannot afford to respond. White has to take the 3 stones, and then black takes these 3 stones. I would say this is definitely a success for white, at least in the sense that the game becomes very messy. This right side, which used to look very, very menacing for black, it's actually looking not. It's looking like it's hard for black to make all this territory. At what I would consider like not a very large price, these 3 stones, they're definitely very big, but compared to what black could have gotten on the right side, I think this is something that white is happy to have only given up this much. So Albert takes, not Albert, white takes, and then plays this to finish saving off the right side group. And Albert plays this peep. So in getting these 3 stones for black, there is actually quite some hidden value. The hidden value comes from the fact that now black is not actually going to just calmly give up this stone at A. Albert actually wants to save this because actually if black is able to successfully save this, one, not only is it very big on points, but 2, you can see that this white group is really not fully alive. And so this makes it so that white has to also think about potentially coming under attack. So this is a very strong move by Albert. And Albert connect. So this happens in the game. I think Albert evaluated this to not be working, which after taking a look at this again, it does seem to be the case. This looks like 2 liberties versus 3 liberties, but you can see that black cannot approach the liberties from either side, and as such, black would then be dead. So it seems like the point of this actually was only to just get this Hane in Sente, which is a much smaller loss than I originally anticipated with this clamp. So I think from that we can see that this operation was fairly successful by white to take up this, to invade black's right side. So cuts. And then extends here. This is still extremely dangerous for white, though. I think even though white was able to capture the 3 stones, this connect is really going for it all. I think, as we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of Sente moves in this area due to the top white group not being alive, and that allows black to play more strongly in this area, for example, by cutting. So we are caught up with the live game. Oh, we aren't. Let's see. Push here, and then white comes through. So this is now both players are kind of. This is both players are kind of going for it. White is saying that, hey, I'm going to live with everything, and black is saying that, no, you're not. I'm just going to kill off your group. So I think we're caught up here. So white's going to have to cut. Black's going to connect, and white's going to have to push through and cut. Black's going to Atari. And black is going to, what's the best shape to fix? Probably the jump and pull back. Or maybe just this, you get your shape ruined a bit. But if white is unable to cut here, which doesn't look like is possible, then we can see that this top white group is going to be struggling. So the question is, can white do anything? Can white get any Sentes out here first? But it does seem quite unlikely that white has any additional Sentes due to the fact that black has these two stones A and B facing up against white's two stones, which are short on liberties. So even if this gets cut off, it's hard to see a world where black gets killed on a large scale. So in the game, in the game I missed something. White can actually play this, and then this, and then make the eye. I wonder if Albert missed this also. It looks very brute force because you're really playing all the bad Sentes, but at this point, you can play as bad style as you want if you get the job done, which is to live with both of your groups. Then bad style is not worth 50 points. So let's see what happens here. Seems like both players are just playing some endgame. Oh, well, I think white really just played a somewhat of a careless move. So black turned, and the correct move for white would have been to pull back. But white played this bump, which actually leaves this ridiculously massive ko here. You can see that white cannot connect, not that move, because this would cause the whole group to die. So this is really not a ko that is fightable for white. At the same time, I don't know how much of a choice white has. So this probably marks the end. This is a very big blunder. If white had pulled back, we can do a quick count. I'm going to say, this happens, and black has 18 points on the top left, plus 5, 23, plus 6 on the right, 29, plus 16 on the upper right, 45. And probably because of this, there'd be a few more points, maybe 40, 48 or so. White has, I'll count 12 on the bottom. $26 on the left, 38, 8, 46, 47, 48, 49, 49 to 50 points. Oh, so this would have been, I think White would have been leading had White played in this way. There are actually a few hidden points. I didn't count any points for Black in this area, so maybe it'd be close. Counted. If I count 2 points, it'd be 50 points each, with Black having with it being Black to play. So this would have been an extremely close game had White just pulled back. After this, though, yeah, White decides to just give it up. This is a huge loss. I think this is not something that White can recover from. Compared to pulling back, this is probably at least 7 points or so worse. I'm counting if pull back. There's at least 1, 2. Oh, let me use the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if White can't block the Hane, which in theory shouldn't be possible, this is 8 plus a capture, 9 points, maybe 10. So 8 points here. Black gets 1 capture, an extra point here. It's on the it's in the vicinity of 10 points here. So let's. Yeah, this is not looking very pretty here. Takes here, takes. And then Albert continues to play very strongly with this bump and cut. Yeah, I think at this point, probably just Albert needs to play some endgame, and that should wrap things up. I wonder, is the Red Royce says white bottom is less than 12 in my opinion. Oh, this bottom. Yeah, let me think. If white plays, then it's like 15 plus this 15 and a third. If black plays, oh right, then the life and death comes into play, assuming there is no life and death issues. That it is 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, and yeah, so I guess it's 12, assuming that there's never ever any life and death problems. But in theory, if black plays, then certainly we have to deduct some points due to white having to take care of the group. Whoa, Albert plays this clamp. Hang on, let me relay the moves. So Albert plays this clamp, which I'm trying to see what the idea What's the idea here? Oh, this has gotten very messy. Okay. This turn was supposed to be Sente. I'm guessing Albert played this just as a time Suji. Probably White should answer, but White played this move, and that actually is a very, very big gain for Black to be able to kill off these three. White is kind of forced to cut here. I think in the game, White plays the Atari first, and then plays the cut. Albert is able to play this bamboo, which threatens to kill off this group, which is very annoying for Black because this actually fixes off a lot of the issues that previously existed with Black running. So if Black were to not answer, the left side is never, or actually the left side can be a ko, but if White wants to fight this ko, that's really a flower reviewing ko for Black. You're threatening to kill the whole entire thing. So this is kind of a pickle for White, because if White plays the ko, if White, let's say, plays a big move, any big move, then all these cuts here become threats. So White decides to fix, which is probably the only move, but then Black is able to come here, and these 4 stones are looking like they'll probably be killed. So now it becomes, I think the weakness of this bottom side group really comes into play if something like this is to happen, just playing some random moves, then the bottom side group is not going to be alive. Is it? It's maybe there. It's depends if this is working or not. But nevertheless, this is it will be very risky for White to try to save those 4 stones. But if those 4 stones aren't saved, then I'd imagine this is not going to be enough. So White does try to go for it, which makes sense, because if you don't go for it, it's probably not enough. And then, yeah, Black starts coming to attack. Turn is better than, yeah, probably turn is the correct way to play in the corner, as opposed to the 2-2 point for Black. Jump. I think at this point, maybe Black. Oh, decisive game. Yes, I've just gotten news that Chicago has won one board and Denver. Oh, so in the board 2 matchup, Black won that, which if I can. Okay. Yeah, this has been wild. I'm looking at the right side exchange, and it actually seems to me that white has gained more on the right side than black has gained. Black's gained maybe like 10 points, but white's gained at least 10, 15 points. So black's what black is able to gain by attacking the two groups um, is yet to be seen. Actually, of course, one of these groups may just die, but peep, push, push. But this has gotten very tricky. So let's see if black were to prevent the connection. Uh, oh, black plays disconnect, which is again now I expected this bump. Uh, and then white links up here. So the question is black able to cut white off? For example, peep and hane, maybe. This it's unclear. White plays black plays throw in. What's interesting is actually this cut on the bottom left might actually come into play if we see that this gets laddered off. I can see a world where potentially this double Atari will be the factor that cuts off white. But Albert decides to actually just play it safe and take the profit, take these two stones, which I'm actually very surprised by as a decision. I'm wondering if he could have. But yeah, Albert with without much time, this is definitely not easy to read out. There is this which is quite scary, which is take fixes. Albert pushes. Oh, but Albert may have to fix again in the bottom. That would be really not good if Albert has to fix again in the bottom. If that happens, we might need to do a recount and see who's ahead, because I think with this most recent exchange of A for B, White's gotten a fair amount of points, and in return, Black was able to get an attack on both these four stones at C and the bottom group at D, but I don't actually see that amounting to a whole lot. So, oh, White ignores the push and plays this one. Push, connect. This game is getting very messy. Let's do a quick count. Yeah, it's been a messy game. Uh, count White has like 52. I'm not sure if I'm counting the captures entirely correctly. Oh, they're marked. They're marked. I wonder why White didn't connect here. It seems to me that this. Oh, it doesn't. I misread. That's why this doesn't threaten anything. It's just it's clean. Okay, so that's why White didn't respond to that. All right, let's do a. Um, 50 for Black. I'm counting the extra 50 for. Oh, wait. Yeah, a bit over like 50, including the capture differential for Black. For White, oh, this is very close. White has like 40, 48 or so. I'm counting. Maybe White is leading now. Peep. I place this peep. White should connect in response. White plays this. Oh, this is dangerous, is it? This is. So after cut, White requires. White needs to fix. Oh, I think White may have blundered here. After cut, if White doesn't fix, then it could be an issue. Yeah, this cut seems to be a very big issue for White. White has to fix. Is it possible for white to play something like this? But the bottom group is not alive. The bottom group is certainly not alive like this. Oh wait, there's a peep. Oh, this is Hane and Tiger's Mouth. Oh, this is very critical. Hane and Tiger's Mouth. Atari go here, fix. Then the bottom group is alive. Oh, in the game, go back. Black this peep first, which might give black an extra chance of doing this. Wonder if this was even more clean, because I feel that uh, A and B are miai to make life. Would this have been? So in the actual game, white plays this peep, which lets black off the hook, unless I'm missing something. Is there? Yeah, I don't see it. I think this would have been a way to just end the game. Peeps, cuts. Yeah, I think this might be a big miss, because later on, now for sure, there's going to be some nastiness in the corner. Maybe with like push first and yeah, if you this and this. There's going to be some nastiness here. And if this, then yeah, probably still this. This is like a, oh. Yeah, maybe after this, there's only some looser way to answer, but oh, what happened in the game? Oh, Albert plays this directly, which is very, very strong. Oh, this is very, very strong. Let's go and the annoying thing is there's actually a lot of threats with A and B. Yeah, with A and B, there's actually four threats. With white takes, black throws in, white takes. I think at this point, the end is near. There's not going to be too many threats for white. I don't actually see any good threats for white. White plays this, and this will not be enough. I can do this. White can do this and get a little bit more. But probably it's still not enough. Probably this will happen. White had two silly oversights. Yeah, White had two oversights. One pretty big oversight at A, which should have ended the game. I guess this move at B wasn't really an oversight. It's would be so after Atari, White decides to take here and play this ko. This and Atari. And this Atari is certainly not big enough, but I think at this point anything really wins. Takes. Guessing this is probably the resign sequence then. Atari. There's no way Albert answers this, right? Even the first one wasn't big enough. Yep, take, and I think that should be the end. Yeah, there's no life and death, or is there a life and death? I think you can play for this. There's a problem is there's too many local threats. It's a nice try though. There are too many local threats. Yeah, I guess Atari is. I think this is still nothing though. There's no threats. The threats are the threats are really non-existent. It was a try. It was a good try. Also, unfortunately, there's a very nice local threat for black here. One very nice threat, and white is. It's like black can even afford to answer this one. That's how low on threats white is. Black can even afford to answer this one. Wonder if Albert will do that. Let's see what happens. Oh, well, okay, let's see. Played this as a threat. Takes. Wait, this is bigger. Wonder if there's a way to estimate the score on PandaNet. This is okay. The last moves are coming in from the game. Both players have passed, and we are awaiting the final result. Black wins by 34.5 points. Yeah, I guess so. With this game, Chicago is able to take round 5 of the City League against Denver. Thank you everyone for tuning into the commentary. Did you guys? Thanks everyone for watching, and you can always follow the scores of the City League on the PandaNet-IGS website. Um, yeah, we'll be back with our next stream on Sunday, May 4th. San Diego versus Toronto at 3 p.m. Eastern Time.